And it's a pleasure again to speak with him. It's Carmine's baby brother, and one-time member of the Hollywood All-Stars. I understand someone dwelling at one of Leslie Gould's houses. We'll hear about all of that and more. From Black Sabbath and Heaven and Hell, big aloha and mahalo. It should be Vinny Appice.
How you doing, Dave?
Aloha, brother Vinny.
How are you?
Hey, man. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Can you hear me good?
Yep.
Awesome. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, it has been a while, my brother. So you're where are you at now? You're in Connecticut?
No, I'm in L.A.
Oh, you are in L.A. Okay.
Yeah.
I had heard Radio Chick said the other day in the chat you were living in one of her houses. Is that an L.A. house or?
It's a
or was she just
L.A. house. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're not on the East
Not
Coast.
on the
You're
East
over
Coast.
there.
No, I'm 3 hours away from you, Big Dave.
All right, yeah. Well, when was the last time you were here? When I last saw you here, right? You haven't snuck out here in between, have you?
No, we didn't play there with Heaven and Hell, but last time I saw you was the Hollywood All-Stars.
Right, yeah. So it was like 2005 was the last time you were here.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
I love it.
Yeah, well, it was great when Vinny was last here. I mean, Vinny is now, he's climbing the mountain again with the band. He's so legendary for being a part of Sabbath. Vinny was here, and he played a place which they've now turned into a brand new condo. It's called The Allure. It used to be the Wave Waikiki, Vinny.
Brand new condo.
The whole thing has been, they tore it down. The whole thing was raised. They made a big gravel parking lot. Yeah, big 30-story, gorgeous condo. So next time you come back, I'll make sure to point that one out to you. You'll be impressed. Right. Former site of the Wave. So what are the...
Most of us?
Oh, yeah, it was. You rocked it to the ground. The place wasn't safe anymore.
Right on.
So what's the chances of you bringing the boys out here?
You know, that's beyond out of my control and beyond my ability, so to speak. I guess Hawaii's become a little bit of a harder market to come over and play, with the kind of music we play. So maybe we'll hit it next year, If there's a big tour and we're doing America, maybe we'll get to Hawaii, hopefully.
Well, I think there'd be a huge reception out here for it. There's more rock is selling than people would think. This year, a lot of rock has been through, selling many tickets, and a variety of bands. Yeah, I think it depends on the size of the venue, and I see you guys have been creative on that, and a handful of dates are announced that are coming up. I see about 6 or 7 of them that are set up for what look like June, and then all the way through the summer, scattered. Are there going to be more than that? Can you kind of elaborate on the tour?
Well, right now it's going to be Europe from June, July, and into middle of August, and that's all we have right now. And I don't know if anything's going to happen after that. There might be another album. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but we want to get out and play, and that's what's booked so far. So when I talked to the rest of the band, they wanted to come to Hawaii, but they wanted to do the Wave for like 10 nights.
Yeah, you do like Michael Jackson. You could outdo Michael Jackson, and instead of 50 shows at the O2, you could do 60 shows at the Wave. Is what or maybe 66. No, but what happens? I was going to ask you another question relating to. And it's funny you re-mentioned the Wave again. The guys who were in the band, the Hollywood All Stars, that you came out here notoriously with a few times, and were so entertaining to see live. What happens to those guys? Like, you don't still do anything with them now, or in between all these, the lull with Sabbath, do you pick up a few dates here and there with them, or?
No, I haven't really been playing with them. It was just a fun thing at the time, and Carlos Cavazzo is playing with Rat now. He went on to play with Rat. Trigger and Chaz still doing it. They got other guitar players, and they still go out and play, so it's pretty funny. Sometimes I'll go see them and jam.
Okay, but so no chance of that becoming a band. So those T-shirts really are that's a rare item. Everybody who's got the Hollywood All-Stars shirt from back in 04, 05. I like that shirt
They're worth
with the Harley.
$6 now.
If you're on eBay, it's a few dollars more than that, Vinny. Depends how you work it. You got to know how to work the shirt. I like the logo though. That was really a cool logo.
That was a blatant ripoff of the Harley.
The Halley logo, right? Yeah.
Luckily, they never got in contact with us.
Yeah, and chased you guys down. But it was very popular here in Honolulu, and Vinny made a lot of friends, certainly musically over your time here. What's your fondest memory of the time that you did have here in Honolulu for those two separate appearances?
Well, we at one point we went over to Kona, so that was pretty cool.
That's right.
Waikiki, then we went over to Kona. I'd never been to Kona. That was pretty interesting with all the volcanic rock everywhere, and what the beaches were like. They were totally different than Waikiki. So that was great, man. I love Hawaii.
Had you never been to the Big Island?
No, that was the first time. And then I think we were going to. I think we tried to go see the volcano or something, but it was getting a little bit too active, so we didn't go. And
Maui? How about Maui?
Maui, I forgot if we even went there or not. I don't know. But I haven't been to Maui. If I wasn't, I don't think we played there. We played just Kona and Waikiki. But Maui, I've been there like 25 years ago. So it was just a whole island.
Hang on one second. I see somebody in the thing says something that they can't hear you. So because we're on this thing here, I want to make sure it's right because our tech guys. Hey, JJ, give me the 411. Make sure sending me a little message that Vinny's loud and clear and that he sounds good. And the same with you, Eric. If both of you can check in, tell me that everything's good. Everyone says we can hear him, but he's low.
We can hear him, but he's low. How about now?
Because I can't control it, as you know, Brother Vinny. I'm sort of out here in Honolulu. So.
I could yell.
He sounds really good on my end, everybody.
Hey, you sound great. You sound great here.
Yeah, and so do you. It's and great to see you too. Again, after all this time, I really I miss those good old times when Vinny was here. I took advantage. I had him with the green limo, I believe it was. Brought you over. Yeah. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the one and only green limo, the only one on the island. Yeah, that was cool.
It was, and one of the things that we talked about a lot was of course Black Sabbath, who he's back in the band with, and I give him a lot of grief about bringing him here, but it is difficult for any artist to go anywhere, and certainly bringing a major production like Sabbath, it involves a lot. We have also heard a lot about Sabbath recently, Vinny, by way of these stories about the health of the band members, and some of these stories have been kind of scary, and they start, I guess, with you. I hadn't known that there was some sort of surgery, and if you don't mind sharing with everybody what the update is, what happened, and where you're at with that.
I can't talk about that.
You can't? Okay.
No, actually, it started with Tony Iommi. Tony had tendonitis kind of thing going on in his fretboard hand, you know.
Right.
And so he had a problem with that, and then I tore a ligament, a tendon right off my shoulder bone from playing the big drum set, the drums that were behind me, and Ronnie had stomach cancer.
Right.
So we would all be on the stage left while the intro tape was playing, and Tony would complain about his hand. Ronnie would say his stomach was killing him, and my shoulder was inflamed, and we didn't know we were all gonna go down.
And what was Geezer saying? That's the real.
Geezer was on stage right, and he's a vegan, and he's fine. So, and his name is Geezer.
And he's like counting his blessings, going, "Man, what's up with these three cats?" So he's solid,
these three guys are falling apart. Yeah, Geezer's fine. I'm gonna start eating soy food and soy milk and all that stuff.
Is that his routine? Really, he's vegan.
Yeah, he's vegan. No anything. Just all soy products.
For a long many years.
But he's healthy. Yeah. Since he was a kid,
really?
He didn't want to eat meat. His parents, you know, the usual thing, wanted him to eat meat. He didn't like eating meat, and he's not eaten meat since he was a kid.
And out of the three,
must do something.
Yeah, I'm thinking just as a informal science experiment right here on the show. So out of the four dudes in the band, he's the only vegan.
Well, he's the only vegan, and
no one else.
Just to recap on everybody. Everybody's doing better now. I'm completely 85% healed, I've been playing now. My arm moves and it goes
Right.
above my head.
Good to hear.
Ronnie's feeling much better. Tony's doing much better. So that's why we're able to go do this tour in the summer. So everything's turning out wonderful.
I just think it's a statement on the vegan thing that's in there, hidden somewhere. I mean, I eat meat too, bro. I'll eat the next
Actually,
double cheeseburger that comes by.
You're looking a little pale over there, Dave.
Am I
meat.
pale? Am I looking pale?
No, you look pretty sun-tanned, dude.
I was gonna say, I've been working on my tan, dude. It's hard work having a tan, Vinny. Then no one hands that tan to you. That's hours you have to put in sometimes. I'm serious. To get the tan, it's a lot of time. If you don't put the time in, it just doesn't stick.
Yeah.
To some people, the tan is a real. It's time spent. If you could only get paid for doing that. But it's good that you that you're doing so much better. And Ronnie, you mentioned him. If we get a little bit more on that, I mean, that's a huge thing for everybody. I was reading that he has to fly back and forth to Dallas, and that he has these daily injections in his stomach. It just sounds so heavy, and he's one of the great rock voices of all times. I remember you were, sharing all kinds of great stories about working with him. Any kind of update? How often do you talk to him?
Actually, I just spoke to Ronnie yesterday, and it's a lot of stuff involved when you're doing chemo, and his chemo, they go to Houston, actually, not Dallas.
Okay.
And
sorry, Houston, right?
It's every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks now, so he's going through a lot, and I never knew what people go through when they get sick like that. But luckily, it's all paying off. He's feeling better. Things are shrinking, and he's
Nice.
on the road to mending. So that's really cool.
That's huge.
Obviously happy about that, and just so happy.
Has that, when you look at this time around, you guys got started on this, in 07?
Yeah, in 07.
And
We actually recorded in 06, the end of 06, we did the DO years. And then the big tour was 07.
Okay, so you started the process of reuniting in 06.
Yeah.
What made it work this time that didn't happen the other time?
Well, what made it work was doing one step at a time. We did first record the record, then it was a tour, and no other plans after the tour. Then the tour went so well, it was talked about, let's do an album. And we did the album. Then we did, after the album, another tour, a little tour with Metal Masters with Judas Priest and Motorhead. So this band seems to work better when it's one thing at a time and not a lot of pressure and not a lot of plans made in the future. Then it seems to fall apart every time we do that. And also everybody's a little older now, a little bit more calmed down, and musically it's been working like ridiculous. It's so good musically, everybody's getting off playing each night. So that makes the difference right there, because that's what it's all about. So we're having fun.
Hey, something definitely has changed when you see what is the time frame of how long it's worked out. In fact, the amount of time you guys are together this time is going to exceed the original era of the group, in fact, when you guys were together.
Yeah. I think we've been together longer now than ever. Or even
Right.
if you add two of the other time frames up, this is the longest we've been together.
And as you develop more of a personal friendship, do you spend more time as a result of that? Has anything changed in terms of how much time you spend with each other?
Well, Tony lives in England, so when the tour's over, he's in England. Ronnie's right down the street from me, so I see Ronnie a lot. And Geezer, he's in California too. I see him once in a while, but we hang out a lot on the road. We do the usual stuff and go to dinner and all that stuff on the days off and hang out, go to the bars, and that stuff is cool. But when everybody finishes the tour, everybody has their own life too. So we don't hang out like go to the Rainbow or anything like that. But
Right.
we do talk to each other.
But what a change since, especially if anyone who watched the Dehumanizer thing happen, and in late 1991 there was an announcement there would be this reunion, and then in early 1992 the song was on the Wayne's World soundtrack and briefly in the movie, and then you guys did a series of dates that summer, a series of dates in the fall. Poof, it all fell apart and never happened again. And this time around, it's the gelling it's almost complete. It's as if you would not ever expect it to fall apart.
Right. This time, one step at a time, and it seems to be working. And everybody's calmed down a little bit too, so we're getting along great.
Considering that no one calls it, and I'm sure it's not a question you can answer, but maybe you can have some illumination on it. Considering that you guys don't call it Black Sabbath and that you call it Heaven and Hell, I wonder if this lawsuit with Ozzy and Tony won't just end up with Ozzy and having the name, and what really would he do with it if he didn't have Tony on board?
Well, I don't know exactly what's going on with that, and that's between Tony and Ozzy. They're Ozzy suing Tony, and I don't know exactly what the name means, if it's merchandising, if it's the band, how it works. So that's not really for me to comment on.
Yeah,
what's going on.
Sure. But it does seem weird because the name isn't even really in use at this point. It's like the name isn't even...
Well, there's a lot of things that are sold under that name, so,
Right.
Sure.
I see what you mean. In use means a lot of different things. It's just because it's not in use as the band name doesn't mean it's not in use.
It doesn't have to be a band. It's more of a label, and things that are sold under that label, there's a lot of money generated.
When you think about this summer tour that's coming up, and the dates that we have so far, they start on June 13th, they go till August 8th. They're scattered. It looks like there will be a lot of other dates added, 7 dates in all. Are these all going to be festival dates, or will there be its own tour proper?
I heard it's all festival dates. There's just there's some dates with, I think there was some with Iron Maiden. I heard Metallica.
Correct. Yep.
There's even one with Emerson, Lake and Palmer and UFO, and that's in England. And so they're all big, giant shows.
They're huge. You're going to have Metallica there at a couple of them. Does it change the gig for you, Vinny, when you have some bands on it, or does it matter? Or you're just in your own world and you're there to do the show?
You know what? At this point, you're just there. You do the show, you play, and it's just fun to know everybody's there. And the show is such a big event, and it's usually we would go on our own show, and once we finish, the night is ended, really. Mm-hmm. But it's nice when there's other stuff going on. Like, if it's Metallica, they're obviously going to go on after us. And,
right.
So it's pretty cool to be able to hang out and then go on stage and watch them play, And then everybody usually hangs out backstage, believe it or not, and that's a lot of fun too. So
you've got, speaking of Metallica, you have a number of different. You have 2 gigs with them on the tour. You're also going to be playing in London with ZZ Top at Victoria Park on July 24th. Have you ever done a gig with them?
No. You?
Nothing.
No. I've seen ZZ Top only one time. And I went to see him play somewhere. I don't even know where it was.
Sweden and Poland with Iggy and the Stooges.
You know more than me.
Of course I researched well, my brother. I give you full respect. You're going to be a guest on the show. I want to know what I've got my hands full with here. Okay. But
I didn't even know that one.
You didn't?
I didn't know we're playing with Iggy. Yeah.
Yeah. You met Iggy before?
No, I'm not really a fan of that kind of music. So
man, for some fans to see that, and he's been around so long, it's pretty incredible. So Iggy and the Stooges and Iommi cranking out. You guys are still not doing any of the Ozzy era stuff, right? It's all Dio era stuff. Right now, it's all Dio stuff. Yeah, although we played some of the Ozzy stuff at Soundcheck, so we don't. Anything could change at any moment. Okay. So you guys don't... You'll have to come to the show and see. But there is a possibility that you would open it up and do that? There's a possibility for anything. Yeah. Possible. Okay. But so far, you're really not doing any of the Ozzy stuff? No. It's all Dio stuff. Heaven and Hell. And finally, before I let you go, Brother Vinny, there's a famous story that you have. I got to interview a guy recently. I don't know if you've ever... do you know who Ray Cooper is? Yeah, kind of. Famous British percussionist. Used to play with Elton John. The bald dude, glasses. Right. Played with all the Beatle members, and he came here with Elton John, and we were doing an interview backstage at the Blaisdell Arena. They were doing 2 sold-out shows here at the big arena in town, 8,000 people, and he was telling this great story of working in the studio in 1975 with Elton John and with John Lennon. And it was the same time that, that you were also, and I was just hoping that you would just try to remember, just a little memory of that moment, because it's something special that you did, which I think is, it's worth acknowledging. Just share some memory. You did something really unique in 75 with those cats.
Yeah, well, my band did the hand claps to the song Whatever Gets You Through the Night. I wonder if he was on that song. He probably was.
He was.
Well, then we're both on that song. But I'm doing hand claps, and that's how we met John, and then we went on to do a couple of more things with him, including a live gig in New York, and we did 3 videos and a couple other things. So, but Elton, when I went down to when they called us to do the hand claps, I saw John Lennon and Elton John in the control room, sitting there, and Jimmy Iovine, he was producing. So it was like, whoa, this is pretty cool. Then I had to go to school the next day, so that freaked me out.
How old were you?
16.
Very cool. What a way to start your career.
Yeah.
That's really cool stuff. Well, yeah, it was great to hear about it from Ray's perspective, who had, he was really close with him. He was telling these great stories about coming to Maui and gardening with George Harrison, who lived on Maui. He came over and he spent like 3 weeks doing all this gardening with him, and he was telling great stories about that session.
Gardening?
Yeah, gardening on Maui with George.
Wow.
Sunflowers,
I wonder what they were growing.
These sunflowers, he said, that were taller than they were. It was brilliant to listen to him describe it with that British accent. It was a great story. So, anyway, thank you very much for being part of the show. I really do appreciate it. It's great to see you again.
You, Dave.
And stay in touch.
Say that, mahalo.
Yeah, mahalo. And thank you for the Shako too. And keep in touch. Good luck with the tour as things progress.
Thank you.
Aloha, this is Vinny Appice, Carmine's famous brother. You heard me with Black Sabbath, Dio, Rick Derringer, and others, but right now you're hearing me with the man Dave Lawrence. Aloha, this is Vinny Appice, and yes, I'm Carmine's little brother and louder brother. You've enjoyed my work with Black Sabbath, Dio, Rick Derringer, and others, but right now it's time to enjoy Dave Lawrence. And my favorite time of day, it's 4:20, baby.
Aloha, this is Vinny Appice. You know me from Sabbath and Dio. Well, you're listening to Sabbath at 6 with my good buddy, Dave Lawrence.